All right. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. And all right, here we go. Last night I was at a dinner with the Brownstone Institute that they put on. Apparently they do a lot of these kinds of things. Oh, I gotta grab this. And last night, I wish I could remember how to say his last name, but Dr. Josef, um, from the taperclinic.com was the guest speaker. And I got to sit right across the table from him. And it was really a lovely time. Um, all right. So, for those of you who are joining me for the first time, the reason you're seeing my feet is because this is my exercise. I've got a herniated disc and some other issues. And so, walking you're supposed to get 7 to 10,000 steps a day. But if you can't walk that far, if you can do 1,100 to 2,000, and that's like pretty much your limit, and then you have to rest a lot, then you need support like this. And so I did talk to my doctor. He thought it would be good, told me to try it. And so here I am doing it. So this machine is called a Chi machine, and I just found it on Amazon. So that's the short information um, about why you're seeing my feet instead of my face. And really, I could have put the camera on my face, but it just felt so funny to just lay here and watch my face wiggle. Like, I don't know. I guess I felt better about watching my feet, but there you go. Okay, so I have my notebook from last night, um, so that I could chat with you a little bit about some of the things that I learned at the dinner. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Yusuf, you should definitely follow his channel. He has over, I think he said 15,000 videos on his YouTube channel and he's talking specifically about psychiatric medicine and getting off of it, or tapering it down to a level that is more functional for your life. A lot of people are on the drug that would like to get off the drug, and so that he's meeting that need. So he's a psychiatrist. Um he worked for the FDA as a researcher, and he had a lot to say about some of those kind of things. So he's an Australian. He's lived here for 10 years. And as he looked at he's looking at the state of our country and of the world, and we have a serious situation of declining mental health. And then he cited the suicide rate as a metric of that claim that we are having declining mental health. And so since the 90s, the suicide rate is up 40%. This is significant. And we're on 5 times the number of antidepressants. So this is something to really know um and consider as you're looking at these things. And he said, this is, as a psychiatrist, I think we should look at our results here and say, hey, something is definitely going on. And um and so then he talked about some of the things. And I'm not going to go into everything, but I will tell you that the 3 reasons that he feels like it's such a big deal um to have people on medications when they haven't addressed other issues, which I'll go into as well. He said the first thing is that it robs people of the time and the opportunity to make meaningful change and improvements in their lives, and particularly in their body health and their relationships, in their mindset and those things. And we'll talk more about those. Um, Over time, also, the second reason is that over time, those side effects actually compound. So the different medications that you're on, um, that stuff starts to compound in your body. So even though it's not working like if you're on a medication and then it stops working and then you go and get on another medication and then that stops working, those side effects will begin to compound in your body. So it's really an issue. My bike is kind of horrible, right? Oh, darn it. Well, do you want to get on that health rider? Uh-huh. But I mean, it just like you lift up and down on it. You'll just have to move I think there's a ball right there that I've set there that doesn't need to be there on there's there's a little blue ball, but maybe it's not on there. Do you see it? Okay, it's probably not there. So yeah. Okay, so then with those things that are compounding, then he said the psychiatric industry then will call it treatment resistant, or it could be labeled as bipolar because, but he said because some of the side effects are causing a lot, a burst of energy. So I thought that was really interesting too. But long-term users can also have late onset side effects. And so that's really an interesting thing too, and probably with the compounding on that. And then the third reason is that it's just hard because of the way that things are set up for doctors to get paid. They are not able to get to know their patients as well as they once could. If they have a lower number of patients, then they can actually have the capacity to know them and know their family and kind of know their situation and things like that. But nowadays, the number of patients that doctors are expected to treat is so high that there really is no way that they can do that. And so they're relying on questionnaires and protocols to make diagnoses and help you. But then it's like you're not getting the personalized care. And so he talked about good care and he talked about it being more than meds. And he also talked about the fact that if you're seeing a psychiatrist or someone in the psychiatric field that's or even your family doctor that is prescribing anti-anxiety or antidepressants or different things like that, then and he's not talking to you, he or she is not talking to you extensively about diet or exercise or some of these other things, mindset, cognitive therapy, like different things that have been proven to work over time and that make a huge difference in your mental health. Then people kind of get the idea that because the only thing that my doctor is really talking to me about and spending any meaningful time on is my medication, the dosage. And um, and so I thought it was interesting also as he talked about the patients that he works with in his taper clinic, much of the work that he does is helping them to basically stay the course and just like giving them the reassurance that that they really can do it, that they can continue. And when I was thinking as he was talking about it, how much of this we do in Sassy Habits and with our emotions coaching, the work that we really are doing and that all of you are doing is you're changing your mindset. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Um, so that was kind of how he started. Then he talked about what to do about it. Well, he says, "Well, I don't really know what to do about it, but here's kind of how I think about it." And so the first thing is that mental health care is about helping people to function, helping them to reach their goals and helping them to live life. And that is totally what we're about here at Sassy Habits too. And I think all of us need to be about this because helping in the mental health care crisis is really about our friends and our neighbors and our communities, like reaching out and listening to people and also giving them um, the understanding and the security to understand that if they're having feelings, then they're human. They should be having feelings. That and having feelings is not the problem, even if it is uncomfortable. And the second thing that he talked about with mental health care is, um, let me see if I can read my, oh, definitely keep people safe. So in the medical space where they are prescribing medication. He said, these drugs can be very helpful for people who are in crisis, but also to use them as short term and then to focus on the body, the mind, and the spirit. And so I'm going to go into more about what he talked about with that. And you're going to see as you do this, if you know anything about what we do with Sassy Habits, with the essential emotions, and I've talked about getting like an alchemy um, session with me to just basically help you to do the things that you know that you need to be doing, but that for whatever reason you feel stuck or you feel not good enough or you feel like whatever it is. And so you're not taking the actions that you need to, whether that's for your business or for moving forward in your life in some way. So this is where we like to start. There's lots of things that we can do, but if we do it in the order um of wisdom, like you're going to, the first thing is that whatever it is that you're feeling, and we've talked about this so much on this channel too, these emotions, they're running your life because there's chemical reactions that are happening in your body and they make you feel uncomfortable. And so we do things to move away from that uncomfortable feeling. So, one of the things that he talked about for your body, he said our bodies are connected to our brains by this thing called the neck. So, he said, first of all, eat real food. Which is just so important. Like do the thing to get that unprocessed food. I know we talked about this yesterday as well. Just making sure that you're doing the best that you can to get real food into your body. And the second, he said, for mental health, especially, go gluten free for 5 weeks. Just try it and see what it does. It has been clinically proven to improve people's mental health because the gluten is causing some issues there. The second one is the get moving, where you're supposed to be like at 7 to 10,000 steps per day. So you don't have to, he says, you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to like blah blah blah, all the stuff. And that's what we've been talking about also. It's just you get moving, do more movement in your daily activities, do more things, take the stairs, the different things. Now, again, if you're dealing with an injury, please do not over exercise with an injury. It does not help. It creates stress and it makes your recovery time longer. So do what you need to do. But I found this statistic interesting as well. And he didn't say it. I heard this on a different podcast that all cause mortality goes down by 50% if you can get your step count up to 8,000 per day. So let me say that again. All cause mortality is down 50% in people who step more than 8,000 steps per day, 8,000 or more steps per day. So that is so significant. And that also is motivating me to, lay here and wiggle my feet so that I can get some of that benefit of the steps, even while I'm still healing my back. And then the third thing that or another thing, because I already, let's see, food, one, two, I didn't number these, one, two, three, four. So the fourth thing that he talked about is as much as possible, start getting off of your pharmaceuticals, like statins, like steroids, like birth control. All of these are affecting, and he called them gateways. They can be gateways into psychiatric medications because they're having these different effects. So see what you can do to control those things that you're on those different medications for. Don't stop them cold turkey. Definitely work with your doctor. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying here as medical advice, but do consider and start asking the questions of like, how can I stop these things and what can I use instead? And again, we have lots of solutions that can be really helpful to supporting your body systems with what we're doing here at Sassy Habits and with our essential oils. And then next is like stop with the not maybe not necessarily completely, but like look at your habits. If you're in the habit of drinking 3 cups of coffee per day, that's affecting your sleep. If you're coming home from work and having a couple of drinks, that's affecting your sleep. And so just recognize that sleep is another really important thing for the body and that the things that we're doing, the stimulants that we're taking, the ways that we're trying to cope, these are not sustainable long term. And so that becomes another really important issue. And again, this is stuff that we talk about a lot here on Sassy Habits. And one of our sassy habits is I am rested. And how are you accomplishing that rest? What is your sleep hygiene? What uh, supplementation can help or is helping or isn't helping, and maybe you need to switch. We have a sleep system that has been studied, and 6 weeks on our sleep system uh, reversed brain age by I think it was 7 years. Did you know that? Yeah, so it's very significant. And the beauty of the brain age is that this has so much to do also with your mental health, because that resiliency and that ability to to just kind of think about things differently. And when you're rested, you feel better. And so you think better because you don't feel so, nutty. And it is a form of torture that is used in wartime to is sleep deprivation. And anyway, just know that. Don't torture yourself. Okay. All right. The second thing is mind. So body, mind, spirit. So let's talk about mind. So this is where he talks about there are so many psychological skill sets that can be supportive. And it comes from a lot of these come from Stoicism. And when you engage in these practices of traditional psychological methods, and then he listed a bunch of acronyms that I'm not familiar with, but DBT, ACT, CBTI, ACTI. These different types of things, these are cognitive behavioral therapy and different types of therapies that they have done. And he said, when you open up and you start reading about the things, a lot of them are just common sense, and all of them have been well studied and have really good outcomes. So build up your skills that help you to build up the mental resilience that you need to be able to work through life issues and stressors that are causing you stress. And then he talked about relax. In the United States, we just go, 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 and we don't relax. So again, right here we are. I am rested. I am still. These are two of our seven sassy habits, is that I'm rested and I am still. And both of those have to do with relaxing, moving into that space of meditation or yoga or walking in nature, deep breathing, right? Like we are nailing it with this stuff. Let's keep doing it. And he did talk about insomnia as being a daytime problem. It's not a nighttime problem, it's a daytime problem. And the reason for that is because of the choices that we're making during the day, the stimulants that we're taking into our bodies, or different things like that. Okay, the last one that he talked about is spirit. And he said, and I'm going to quote this, Freud, he said, this is his quote. Freud said some really crazy, really batshit crazy stuff. But he said one thing, this one quote, and this is Freud. He said, love and work, that's all there is. And he said, this is the truth. And when you are looking at focusing on relationships, this is part of your spiritual life, is your connection with other people. And then meaningful work that makes you feel like you're doing something that matters in the world. And anyway, so that was basically the whole thing. But and then there were a few like Q&As, so I did have some additional notes that I of the Q&A that he did, but I'm not going to go into a lot of those because I don't really know that I took notes in a good enough way to really understand things. But anyway, if you want to know more about his taper clinic, or you want to know more about his methods, I have talked to other people who are tapering off of medications, and one girl in particular told me about the fact that, sometimes it's really hard and sometimes she has a hard time believing that she can do it. And when those times come, she will open up her YouTube and go to his channel and just listen to him. And again, he has, I think he said over 15,000 videos on his channel. That's a lot of videos. And if you are, um, there's, and he said also that every question that a patient has ever asked him, he's made a video about it. So there's a lot of resources that's available on his YouTube channel. And his name again is Dr. Yusuf, which is Dr. Dr. Josef. So you just look him up, and I'll link him also in the comments below so that you can find him. I really had a really lovely time meeting him. He just is such a warm and genuine person, and he just really, really cares about the state of mental health in the world. And so I invite you to participate and join in this movement. Like it really is something that's just so fantastic of helping people to really feel better and to to ride the waves of emotion, as we like to say here. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. And